Hello everyone, my name is Katie and I am the Duchess of Suds here at Royalty Soaps. Today I will be sharing a little bit about the Secret Soap series for Spring and Summer 2015. Now if you haven't watched the 5 videos in the series, I'll give you fair warning that this finale does contain spoilers. I'll be leaving the playlist link in the description box and here if you would rather try and guess the theme for yourself. If not, or if you've been following along the whole time, thanks a heap for watching, and let's begin. The theme I picked this year is classic children's literature. Throughout my growing up years, I read an extraordinary amount. My mother highly encouraged me to read classic literature, and I rarely touched a novel less than 100 years old. Reading was pivotal in forming my worldview and cultivating my rather too active imagination, and I chose my top 5 childhood favorites for the inspiration behind the 2015 Secret Soap series. The first soap featured here is actually a throwback from the Hail Britain's Secret Soap series I did 2 years ago. I have changed the name from Wonderland to In a World of My Own because it more accurately describes my sentiments about Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll. I think a good part of me always identified with Alice. She was very relatable to me, a girl who never was where she stood and constantly dwelt in worlds of enchanted fiction. My favorite part of both the Disney movie and the book was the tea party, so I added glycerin soap teapots and teacups on top. The colors inside and drizzled on top were also purposeful. The red represents the Queen of Hearts, the white represents the White Rabbit, and the blue represents Alice's dress. The fragrance I used was Cherry Almond from Wholesale Supplies Plus with a vanilla color stabilizer on the base only. This fragrance is always what I thought the Eat Me dainties would taste like, and the entire soap is rather a feast for the eyes. The second soap I created was inspired by the Anne of Green Gables series by L.M. Montgomery. I feel Anne was truly one of my best friends growing up. I didn't know any fellow romantics as a child and a teenager, so I practically clung to every word Anne said and all of her ideals. My favorite book was actually Anne of the Island, but as Anne of Green Gables is the most well-known of the series, I chose my favorite part of that book to help pick the cameo in bed on top. Anne, as a child, told Marilla she had taken her favorite brooch and dropped it into a pool of water. Whether or not this actually happened, you'll have to read for yourself, but the brooch is represented here by the cameo. The colors on the inside were picked a little more randomly, except the gray for Anne's perfect eyes. Everywhere that red-headed, oh, pardon me, auburn-haired snippet went, a delightful haze of wonder and admiration seemed to follow, so the color combination is very dreamlike and subtle. The fragrance I chose is Royal Bee from Nature's Garden Candles and is very deep and feminine, exactly like this soap, which I have of course named Anne. The third soap is one of the only ones I have made in the last 2 years that didn't have a high top, for the simple reason that I feared the cold processed soap flowers would pop right off, and those flowers are quite necessary for anything representing the Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. I will admit to never liking Mary Lennox very much, even when the Secret Garden transformed her into a lively and sweet child. To me, the draw of this book and the 1993 movie was the epic visionary landscapes that Miss Burnett paints, and how much the house and garden are characters themselves. My own mother has always had a green thumb, and now has her dream garden right here at White Grange, so it only seemed natural for me to name this soap my mother's garden, as the garden in the book was Colin's mother's garden, and because my own is so fond of growing things. I scented this soap with honeysuckle from Wholesale Supplies Plus, and it is truly one of my favorites I've ever made. The fourth soap I created was inspired by Rudyard Kipling's The Jungle Book. I've probably read this book 10 times, and my favorite story by far is, oddly enough, not the classic Mowgli the Jungle Boy. No, my personal favorite is actually Tumai of the Elephants. Tumai had such a knack with those giant, powerful creatures, and as a kid, that was probably the most enviable thing one could achieve. I was always trying to charm my pets and enchant them into letting me go to their secret meetings, but I'll admit to never having the skill little Tumai did, and I would give a fortune to pick his brain. The embed of the elephant represents his story, and the gold crown is simply symbolic of Imperial India. The colors for the piping and the base are rich jewel tones that really give an Indian marketplace feel to the soap. The fragrance I used is Amber Romance from Wholesale Supplies Plus, and it pairs perfectly with the bohemian Bollywood look I was trying to achieve. This creation was probably my favorite when it comes to the colors. And last, but certainly not least, is Aslan's Triumph, my tribute to the masterpiece collection C.S. Lewis created called The Chronicles of Narnia. These books were so influential and crucial to what I feel to be the essential makeup of my creative mind. Narnia opened up doors to me, doors I never would have found otherwise, and some of the principles Lewis taught through these 7 books, like self-sacrifice, courage, and love, helped me truly understand how to apply them to everyday life. They were much more than books to me, and my favorite one, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, happens to be the most popular. On top are snowflakes and an icy blue shimmer, representative of the winter the White Witch cast upon all of Narnia. The soap base is light green with flecks of darker green sprouting into the blue to represent the grass starting to poke up through the snow. And of course, the lion's head embed on top signifies the power of Aslan and his triumph over evil. He's the reason the spring is starting to come forth. For the fragrance, I used Abalone and Sea from Wholesale Supplies Plus to remind one of the classic beach scene where Lucy watches Aslan disappear. I'll admit to being the most proud of this soap, simply because it stirs up a sense of adventure in me. So there you have it, the complete 2015 Spring and Summer Secret Soap series. I would like to thank Molly from Digital Press Creation for her gorgeous clip art that I used for both the labels and the puzzle. Guys, she has some of the most beautiful watercolor images I have ever seen, and it was looking through her Etsy shop last winter that really sparked this year's theme idea. I'll be leaving a link to her website below if you're interested in utilizing her incredible talent. I would also like to thank my little sister Emmy for being the perfect representation of little Katie, and to the Queen and King who read out loud to me as a child. You'll never know what a positive impact it had on me. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I will be releasing the soap collection in my Etsy shop at 6 p.m. Eastern on June 15th, 2015. So until next time, have a royal day, and bye for now!